Jump, jump! Oh man, dang. Kirby sucks! Up enemies and takes their abilities. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to all of my subscribers, and if you are new to the channel and this is your first video, consider hitting the subscribe button. Check out some of the other videos, and if you like it, stick around. And if you want to be notified when we go live, we do live streams. I said do. But we do live streams, so if you want to be notified when those happen, hit the bell. I don't have a schedule yet for those, but upcoming soon, I might be doing that. I know I've been saying that a lot, but for real, I'm gonna work on it. I promise. But like I was saying, come hang out with us on the live streams. It's a lot of fun. We have a really cool, awesome little small community that comes and hangs out, and I appreciate every single one of you. But we are here to talk about Kirby Star Allies. It has just come out, and I am actually really enjoying this game. To go over a little bit of the gameplay, it is a lot like the previous Kirby games like Return to Dreamland, or if you ever played Triple Deluxe, or maybe even Crystal Shards like you see here on the TV, except it has its own unique things where you can actually play with 4 friends. One more cool thing that they added into this game was the ability to recruit enemies this time around, and another aspect of that is that in between those different enemies that you can recruit, you can actually combine powers to make a unique power which can be used to solve different puzzles and different tasks that they have hidden throughout the levels. By solving some of these puzzles and doing these tasks, you can actually uncover different star bits, fruit, power-ups, other different things of that nature, and you can also find puzzle pieces that are hidden throughout the levels. There are 2 different types. Basically, there are little small puzzle pieces that get you 1 puzzle piece at the end of the level where it kind of puts this little picture together, and then there are large puzzle pieces which actually get you 3 of these smaller puzzle pieces to help you get through and get those pictures that you can put together at the end a little bit quicker. Not only that, but once you complete a level, you basically get to play this jumping game, which is reminiscent of past games. And basically you hit this platform, you have to hit the A button at a certain point, and it will shoot you up through the clouds. And if you get to the top, you can actually get extra puzzle pieces by doing that as well, which is really helpful. The level select screen is actually very reminiscent of Yoshi's Woolly World. And if you ever played that and then you pick up Kirby Star Allies, man, it's a tongue twister. If you pick up Kirby Star Allies and you play this, you will see what I mean by being able to walk around on the map anywhere you want to. You can actually get star bits and other things like that on the map, and it's actually really cool. So I really dig that whole thing. You know, when it comes to a stationary map where you can just, you know, kind of go along one path and just pick your levels, it's kind of bland and boring. It's kind of old and tired. So it's really refreshing to see that kind of life on the level select screen. It's a very simple, you know, piece, but it's really, really cool. Quickly to touch on the combination of powers, I know I mentioned it before, but I do want to clarify one simple thing. Unlike Crystal Shards, where you can pretty much combine 2 powers of anything, this one you can only do certain powers with each other, which I felt was a little bit limiting to the powers, and I thought that they could have probably done a little bit of a better job with that, but it's a very minor thing, and the powers that you can acquire are still really, really cool. Kirby Star Allies also has a few different mini games on the game as well, and 2 of which are available as soon as you put the cartridge into your Switch, and 2 you have to unlock once you get further into the game. Now, the 2 that are available are Star Slam Heroes and Chop Champs. Star Slam Heroes is pretty much like a home run derby game, except for you are hitting a star instead of a baseball. You are basically stationary in one spot, and a meter will pop up. You have to fill the meter, and then another little symbol will pop up where a circle is closing in on a smaller circle, and as long as you get as close to that smaller circle as you possibly can, once the larger circle starts to shrink, you will hit the ball further and further. The main point to this mode is pretty much to knock that star through the different planets or moons, whatever they are, and try to get that star as far as possible, and the person with the furthest distance wins. You are always going up against 3 other opponents. I almost didn't know how to count there for a second. But you are always going against 3 different opponents, whether they are CPU or your friends, which is really cool. And in Chop Champs, basically what you're doing is you are trying to chop a tree down faster than your other 3 opponents, and whoever has the most wood at the end wins. But while you're chopping the tree down, you do have to switch side to side, basically trying to avoid different little bugs that are on the tree. And if one of them hits you, it basically knocks you down and slows you down. So, you know, you want to try and avoid those as much as possible. Although the mini games are very short, they are a lot of fun and are very reminiscent of the mini games that you would play in Pokemon Stadium back on the Nintendo 64. So if you did enjoy those, you will enjoy these. Obviously, they are not the main focus of this game, but it is a cool little extra to have alongside of the actual story mode. Speaking of the story mode, it is pretty standard to what you would see in any other Kirby game. You basically, you know, kind of make your way through the levels from point A to point B, going through these doors. There are secrets hidden throughout these levels by doing other puzzles, like I mentioned before. The game does run at 30 frames per second, and I know that people were complaining about that, but honestly, it doesn't really affect your gameplay. It's not noticeable, and honestly, it really just doesn't matter. I could totally see how that would affect gameplay for something like a first-person shooter or something that needs to have very fast gameplay, but Kirby moves so slow, it really just does not affect you. In order to recruit an enemy and make it your ally in the game, all you're going to do is hit the X button, and basically it whips out a heart and you throw the heart at the enemy and it will become your friend. But once you already have 3 different enemies as your allies, basically if you take that heart out and you throw it at another enemy, you have to choose one of the ones that you already have as your allies to be dismissed. So having the right team behind you is very important, because there will be certain puzzles that you do need a certain ability in order to take care of. So having the right team is very important, so pay attention. You will have to go back and forth between levels, which I think is really cool, giving the game a lot more replay value, because you will go through a level and have a certain team. So it gives you an incentive to kind of go back with a specific team of people and kind of, you know, take care of those different puzzles that you may have missed before. As you travel to new worlds and you defeat a couple of levels in these new worlds, each world will have something called the Dream Palace. Now, in the Dream Palace, you basically go inside, you walk up to a special wand that is inside, and it will initiate a roulette wheel to come up and gives you a chance to unlock a special character like Bandana Waddle Dee or maybe even King Dedede amongst a couple of others, and they too can join your team. But if you already have 3 people on your team, much like if you were to recruit a new enemy, you do have to get rid of an ability. But having these special characters around is really cool. Player 2 can actually take control of these characters, or if you just want them to join your team, they can be pretty helpful in each level as well. So now that we've gone over a couple of pieces of the gameplay, I do want to talk about a couple of the concerns that I have about this game and some of the things that I feel hold it back just a little bit. Now, the game is absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, but not having online multiplayer in a game where it kind of promotes 4-player co-op action kind of confuses me. Like, why wouldn't you have an online mode for a game that is practically marketed as a 4-player game? It just baffles me a little bit. Another feature that I thought the game really should have had was local wireless gameplay. Now, what I mean by that is if I am on my Switch and my friend is on their Switch and we aren't really in a place where we can actually place the Switch down and play with the multiple different Joy-Cons, I know that you can play local multiplayer like that, but having the ability to actually play on my Switch while they are on their Switch, say you're in a car, you can't exactly always put your Switch somewhere where it's convenient for both of you. So having the ability for them to see their own screen and having the ability to see my own screen, I felt like that should have really been in this game, and it really would have improved that multiplayer gameplay. But aside from those 2 little minor complaints that I have about the game is a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is a Kirby fan, or if you are a 2D platformer fan in general. The game is a ton of fun, it's great to play with friends, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite games on the Switch right now. So guys, that about does it for my thoughts and opinions on Kirby Star Allies. Make sure that you guys let me know in the comments section if you are planning on picking this game up. If you pick this game up, what is your favorite part of this game, and what are you most looking forward to on this game if you haven't gotten it? So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, that's cool. Thumbs down, that's what it is what it is. But if you liked it enough to subscribe, make sure you do that as well. Make sure to share it on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys next time.